Hi everybody, this is Laura, City Scrapper. Thank you so much for joining me. Today I have a layout that I made for this month's Punched Out Thursday to Die For. In the A Punched Out Thursday to Die For hop, we use our punches and our dies to create scrapbooking layouts. For this layout, I used some dies and I cut out triangles in two different sizes. I'm using some washi tape and I'm covering the triangles with some different colors of washi tape. This washi tape is from the American Crafts Hooray collection. It's a fun, colorful, birthday-themed collection. I got it a while back at Tuesday Morning, way back when there were lots of those stores in my area. And I purchased the washi tape and thought that I should get some use out of it. So I cut out 4 triangles in 2 different sizes. I'm going to end up going back and cutting those larger triangles into smaller triangles. When I was layering the washi tape on the triangle, I tried to alternate between the darker colors and the lighter colors. I think that creates balance on the triangle, and then it also helps each of the washi tapes to stand out from each other. I also made sure I put a darker strip along the edge of most of the triangles, and that will help the triangles to stand out from the background. In order to create a pattern, I cut out 3 additional triangles from 3 different pattern papers. I used the 6 by 8 inch pad. And then I cut out some pieces of white cardstock using the same die, and I attached those with some ATG adhesive behind the pattern paper triangles just to make them a little bit more sturdy. Now, my idea for this layout changed dramatically. First, I had the different size triangles. Then I cut them all to the same size, and I thought I would make a strip down the center of the paper, a horizontal strip of triangles. I didn't like that. So now I am going back to one of my favorite compositions, which is having the elements go from the upper left-hand corner to the lower right-hand corner. I traced the outline of the triangles on a piece of pattern paper that I had already coated with some white gesso. I took a picture of it so I would remember where the triangles go, and now I am adding some pink sprays to the background so that they will kind of peek out from behind the triangles and add a little bit of interest to the background. I'm using the packaging technique and 2 Lindy's Starburst sprays. The colors are saltwater taffy and wild honeysuckle coral. For this layout, I wanted to create a subtle mixed media background. All of the triangles have very bright colors, and the triangles that I covered with the washi tape are very busy, so I just wanted a soft background. And I think that these 2 colors were great because they go well with the colors in the collection, but they are soft, subtle colors. Even though I want the background to be subtle, I still want it to be interesting. So I am building up layers of color. I'm going back and forth between the 2 different colors of spray. And then after I have a layer of color down, I use my heat tool and I dry the color and then put another layer on top. Now I'm adding some droplets of water. If you have been with me for a while, I'm sure you've seen me do this before. I love to do this. If you put down some droplets of water and then roll a paper towel over the top, it lifts up a little bit of the color and it just creates a really cool effect. And so I generally do this on my layouts, and especially because I'm not making a background with a lot of different colors, I wanted to make sure that the color that was there had an interesting texture to it. So I repeated the water droplets twice. Once the layout was dry, I went in with some splatters of both of the different colors. And it's really important to make sure that the background is dry, because if the background isn't dry, the splatters won't look like splatters. They'll just get kind of absorbed into the background. Once again, I made sure that the background was dry before adding some watered down white acrylic paint and splattering that all over the background too. That's just another layer of interest. It's not as noticeable on this particular layout because the color is so light, but I do like the look of the white splatters on the background. And I add quite a few of them because I feel that you can never have too many white splatters, especially on a background like this that's so light. I also want to mention that before I put the white acrylic paint on, I ran my mixed media background through my laminating machine, and that helps to flatten it out a little bit. I do not recommend doing that once you've added acrylic paint. I found that the acrylic paint will stick to the laminating film, and sometimes it will pull up the white paint when the laminating film is pulled back. So definitely a step to do before adding the white splatters. Now I'm reconstructing my background, putting all those triangles back where I had them. And even though I had drawn those pencil lines to show me where the triangles were, I guess I thought that a little bit more of the background would be visible when I put the triangles back on the layout. I'm going to attach the triangles down. I use my ruler to make sure that I have that pink triangle right in the center of the layout. And I also make sure that it's straight. Then I work out from that center triangle, attaching everything down. And you can see here that I have my photo that I took of the background, just checking to make sure that everything looks about the same as it did before I took the triangles off. This is the photo that I'm going to use. It's a photo of my younger daughter, Julia, when she turned 15. It's not like a super great photo. There's a very dark background. It's not blurry, but it's not super crisp either. But I decided it was time to get all of these photos scrapbooked, so this is the one that I chose for this layout. Since part of the photo is resting on the triangles, the lower left-hand corner needed to be supported a little bit, so I just used part of one of those washi tape covered triangles that I had trimmed off from another part of the layout, and I attached it underneath because I knew that would be the same height as the triangles that the rest of the photo is resting on. Now I'm putting some embellishments on the layout. I have some chipboard pieces. I added 2 different cakes. Then from the foam stickers, I picked out the silver stars, and I'm going to be putting those on the background where there's mixed media, not on the triangles, to add a little bit of sparkle to the background. The cake chipboards were rather large, so then I was looking for some smaller chipboard pieces, some smaller embellishments to add to the layout. I added that really cute cupcake. I don't end up leaving that on the layout, not because I don't like it, but because I just couldn't find the right spot for it. I also added a little sentiment that says "Eat Cake," which I thought was perfect for this layout. And then I added some chipboard stars in different colors. I end up removing those because I think there's just too much going on, and I wanted to simplify the background a little bit. I was thinking of using this word "celebrate" as the title. I was going to put it in the lower left-hand corner. I also have a chipboard party hat that I was going to put on top of the letter C. There's a banner that says "Hooray for Cake," and I put that underneath one of the large cakes. I added a blue banner that says "Yay, Yay" on top of the photo. I placed that foam title that says "Celebrate" in the bottom left-hand corner. I really wasn't crazy about it, but I left it there for a little while. I have a cute pink alpaca standing on top of one of the triangles. I thought that was super cute. I added some photo corners. I used an EK Success punch to punch those out. I punched them in different colors. I put one in the lower right-hand corner, even though you can't see it at all with the embellishments that are covering it. But sometimes I will not add an element because I think you won't be able to see it, and then you can kind of see where it should be. So if there's any thought that you might be visible, I will usually add an embellishment like this. And I wanted to make all the photo corners different colors, again, because the layout is so whimsical. Since we all know that usually, not always, but usually chipboard pieces have adhesive on them, but it's usually not enough to hold them in place for the long run. I added some ATG adhesive to the back of some of the chipboard pieces to keep them secured to the page. So then I was thinking that I would like to put some stitching just on the 3 pattern paper triangles. And of course I decide this late into the process, but I was able to punch holes and put some white stitching around those 3 triangles. Then I made a couple of changes. I moved that yellow banner to underneath the photo. I got rid of the title. I moved the yellow and the pink embellishment in the blue triangle around a little bit just to make them a little bit more interesting. And then I was thinking that I needed a little something more around the photo. Everything is so busy and I didn't want to neglect the photo. I wanted to bring a little more attention to it. So I found some glitter paper in my stash. This is a Heidi Swapp paper. I added that border all around the photo, and I think that helps it to stand out a little bit. Earlier, I added a pink flag on top of the blue flag. I love those little flags. I will always use those if they have them available on birthday layouts. I still needed a title, so I found this title Yay on the foam sticker set. I really liked it. I was thinking that it would be great if it was in another color. There was another title on another sticker set that said the same thing, but it was pink, which is the color of the background. So I decided out of those two choices, I would pick the white. There's a silver glitter all around the outside, so I thought that made it a little more visible and made it kind of go along with the photo. I didn't like the cupcake layered on top of the little eat cake sentiment, so I decided to remove it from the layout. And then I have taken off all those other color stars, and I found I had a sheet of more silver stars, so I thought that I would embellish the background a little bit more. So I'm spreading some of those smaller stars in a couple of other places. When I'm placing embellishments of different sizes in the background, I try to keep the larger embellishments closer to the photo and the other elements on the page, and then the smaller ones further away from the elements. It took me a little while to get the stars where I wanted them, so I didn't include all of that footage, but I do like to move things around when possible. The stars are foam, and I just love those foam stickers. They're very easy to move around. Now, looking back, I don't know why I felt like I had to add more mixed media. I just felt like I really wanted to add more of those pink sprays to the background and extend the area of color a little bit. I was happy with some aspects of the layout, but I just felt like it looked a little bit too empty in most of the areas of the layout. And some people make beautiful layouts with big areas that are white space, but I always feel uncomfortable with that, and I shouldn't. And again, looking back on the layout, I don't think that it looked bad, but I think what was bothering me was something else that I am going to solve in a little while. So I again, don't include all the footage of that, but I did add some more of the pink sprays and extended the area of color. I added some enamel dots to the photo corners. I used the same colors as the photo corners. And then I was thinking that I wanted those triangles to stand out a little bit more. So I used a blue pattern paper that was in the collection, and I put it just behind the triangles with the washi tape. Of course, the other triangles are stitched down to the page, so I can't move those around. But I think that if I had done that initially, I wouldn't have felt like I had to extend that pink color in the background. So once I had everything repositioned, I had to trim the triangles since I had to move them around a little bit. By mistake, I applied heat using my heat tool on the background, and that caused those banners over the photo to curl up a little bit because they're made of plastic. Luckily, I had two more because when I used to go to Tuesday morning, I used to buy things because I forgot I had already bought them. So I put the new banners in place, and then I wanted to add a finishing touch of sequins. I had some shiny small sequins and some larger matte sequins. I used the matte ones on the larger stars, but then I added some shiny smaller sequins inside the matte ones anyway because I liked the shiny sequins. And that is the last touch that I added to the layout, and here are some close-ups. I always like to take this time in the video to say thank you, and I hope it doesn't sound like I am just saying the same thing each time because I am truly, truly thankful for all of the support that I've gotten from you on my YouTube channel. I love making videos for this channel. It's really one of the pleasures of my life, and I just want to say thank you for sharing my layouts and your time with me. Please don't forget to look in the description box where you'll find links to the other ladies who are creating layouts for a Punched Out Thursday to Die For. Have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.